The story of America's rise to global power does not begin with victory. It begins with silence. In the early 1930s, the United States stood distant, isolated, watching the world burn from afar. Storm clouds formed over Europe and Asia. Dictators rose. Nations fell. And yet, across the ocean, America tried to convince itself that the fire would never reach its shores. Factories produced cars, radios, refrigerators, not weapons. Soldiers drilled with wooden rifles because steel was scarce. Americans believed the oceans would protect them. But oceans are only lines on a map. History does not respect lines. As Europe plunged into war in 1939, America faced a question that echoed in every home. Stay distant or prepare for the storm. President Franklin D. Roosevelt watched the world carefully. He knew the danger. He felt the clock ticking. So he began to strengthen the nation. Slowly, carefully, sending supplies to allies, building ships, building planes, quietly preparing for a future Americans hoped would never come. Then came the morning that changed everything. December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor. The day the sky fell. The day war came roaring across the Pacific. American sailors woke to explosions, fire, thunder from the heavens. Battleships burned. The nation felt a shock that traveled from Hawaii's shores to every living room in America. In a single moment, isolation ended. The United States stepped into the war, not with hesitation, but with fury, unity, and a sense of destiny. Factories roared to life. Women entered the workforce in record numbers, becoming the backbone of production. Men enlisted in millions. The American economy transformed almost overnight. Cars became tanks. Typewriters became machine guns. Sewing machines built parachutes. The country turned its full industrial might into the largest war machine the world had ever seen. America now fought on two ends of the globe, across the Atlantic in Europe and across the Pacific against Japan. Two oceans, two enemies, one mission, victory. In North Africa, American troops faced their first test. Harsh deserts, brutal heat, and a skilled enemy. The early battles were tough. Mistakes were costly, but America learned fast. With each campaign, Tunisia, Sicily, Italy, the troops grew stronger, more coordinated, more determined. And then came the greatest gamble of the war, D-Day. June 6, 1944. Before dawn, thousands of American soldiers crossed the English Channel toward Normandy. The fear was real, the danger overwhelming. But when the ramps dropped and gunfire filled the air, they charged forward. Young men, carrying the hope of a world longing for freedom. Their bravery opened the gate to the liberation of Europe. Across the world in the Pacific, the war took a different form. Island after island, jungle after jungle. Fierce, exhausting, relentless fighting. Battles like Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa became symbols of sacrifice. The American Navy dominated the seas. American aircraft ruled the skies. Slowly, painfully, the enemy was pushed back. But the cost was unimaginable: thousands dead, entire islands destroyed, cities turned to dust. And as the war neared its end, the United States held a weapon unlike anything the world had seen. A weapon that could end the war instantly or change humanity forever: the atomic bomb. In August 1945, two cities in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, witnessed the birth of a terrifying new age. When the smoke cleared, the world understood that warfare had changed forever. Days later, World War II was over. The United States emerged victorious. But more than that, it emerged transformed. Its factories had powered the war. Its soldiers had crossed oceans and liberated nations. The science had reshaped the world. And its economy, once quiet and cautious, now stood as the strongest on earth. Europe lay in ruins. Asia was shattered. But America remained standing, powerful, wealthy, and influential. The world turned to the United States for leadership, for rebuilding, for protection, and for hope. The United Nations was formed. New alliances were built. A new world order began, with America at the center. But behind every achievement were real people. Soldiers who never returned home, families who sacrificed everything, workers who labored day and night, leaders who made impossible decisions. Their stories are the foundation of America's rise. Their courage paid the price of global peace. The United States did not seek to become a superpower. It was shaped by the fires of war, forged by sacrifice, and carried forward by determination. From the ashes of Pearl Harbor to the triumphs of Normandy and the Pacific, America discovered its strength. And when the world needed a leader, the United States stepped forward, not perfect, not invincible, but powerful enough to shape the future. World War II was not just a military victory. It was the moment America became what it is today, a global superpower, a guardian of freedom, and a nation whose influence touches every corner of the planet. The war ended, but its legacy echoes in every chapter of modern history. This is the story of how America rose, not through conquest alone, but through resilience, unity, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in a better world.